Okay, uh, this is another video. One of the videos that I always use to always bring things back to reality. I was listening to yesterday's videos I made, and they were trying to change things around. And I clearly say that I remember what I did as a child, and whatever I did. Okay, uh, this is another video. One of the videos that I always use to always bring things back to reality. I was listening to yesterday's videos I made, and they were trying to change things around. And I clearly say that I remember what I did as a child, and whatever I did, as embarrassing as it is, you understand that a child is capable of doing that, and especially that is just something I did to myself, and it was something that looking back, it's just like, oh, what was I thinking? But I was a kid in 8th grade, just turning 14 years old, and kids can do things like that, especially at that age when testosterone is just like, whew, just going up. But kids at that age are capable of doing that, and they try to exaggerate these things, try to make it something else. They wish I raped a child, they wish I molested a child, they wish all that. But the reality is, whatever I did it to myself. And it's funny, when I'm making these videos talking about it, they try to find ways to make me think that, as like, you say it like that, it can sound like that. I clearly say that whatever I did that to myself, and it's embarrassing, but it's what a child is capable of doing. Now, I know that these people know very well the reality of things, but they have to change the reality, because the reality is what they're part of is so disgusting. You're going to listen to here below. I'm going to always bring these testimonials. It's many more than that. But Mariana described properly and is well spoken, in the sense that she's able to speak and say what she needs to say in a way that is easily understood. And it's disgusting, but her testimonials are true indication of who these people are, right? And she I don't know if she's still alive. I hope she's still. They made it clear that like, they made it sound like she's no longer alive. But I'm just so thankful for those testimonials. For me, this is somebody who helped me validate me in so many ways, because it just didn't make sense. These people were making me experience things I did not experience naturally, and they was like, no, this is what we match. When we match, we made you think the way you thought when you were a child. It's, no, I never thought like that. I know what I did some stupid thing. I did a stupid thing, and I gotta be specific. A single stupid thing in that nature, that's stupid, to myself. And I was a child, a kid in 8th grade, what you would expect a child to do. Now, today, they're making me have even sensation stimulations and make me think that that's what you used to feel. I was like, no, that's what you make me feel today. And of course, I know you can manipulate memories. I understand this program is meant to break people down. What they do is to try to break you down and make you accept this new version of who they want you to be. And it always has to do with pedophilia type of tormenting, and they will try to change you and make you accept those changes as if this is happening organically. And so they break you down and rebuild you in these disturbing ways. It's nasty. And I fully understand why I understand at least the concept of what they're doing is for the purpose of developing a continuously develop this technology, this weaponry of the technology that is becoming better and better. And they need more samples. They need more people to be used as subjects to be improving this technology. That's what they do. After me, these people, most of them, I mean, not most of, a lot of them will probably continue and do this thing to others. Some of them have done it to many more. Some of them have done it to women. Some of them have done it to children. I know there's people here with more expertise than others. I understand that. I understand what this is about, and I understand why they have to act accordingly. Do you think these people are here outside because, oh, remember the stupid thing you did as a child? No, of course they. I mean, it's just, they're in a program that is literally torturing children in so many ways. But I'm a subject, and the subject that I'm supposed to be broken down and manipulated in these disturbing pedophilia ways that they manipulate others. I understand. They know truly who I am in many ways, in real ways. But that's not their job. Their job is to break me down and make me be something I'm not. make me experience things I'm not. These noise campaigns, this is just part of the breaking down of the personality and changing that person to something else. I understand. These people have done horrible. Can you imagine sexually torturing children? Yesterday, I had to remove the picture of this kid yesterday, this baby yesterday, because they kept trying to do some nasty things. But listen to what they do to kids. This is real. This is not something I have to make them imagine. This is something that actually is happening today. They are torturing children. And yes, some of the people involved, or your neighbors, can be children too. They're nasty. These people who try to deny your pay are doing these things to kids. Yes, them. I know that this is what the program does. I'm 100% sure that if I had children, as much as they try to manipulate me in these disturbing ways, if I had children, they would do things to my child. They will radiate my child. They will do like that. That's what they will do. They will. If your target individual is targeted, the likelihood that the child is also targeted is most likely radiations or some level of tormented torture is going to happen. They do these things. They will hurt children. They will radiate children. In my head, they try to bring up a kid and do the pit, but that's what they do. They have done it and they will continue to do it. And then what they do to their mind, the way they try to break you down, they make me think of a target individual who's talking about her testimonial. You see her with her daughter. She's a black woman, and they're making me imagine her black little girl and try to make me have some perception of the stimulations. That's what they do. You have to be strong. If you don't know who you are, they're gonna really take advantage of that and try to break you down even more. Understand that whatever you're experiencing today is no longer organically you. It's something that's being forced onto you. Just know that. That's why I keep making these videos. For me, it's so disturbing. It's so disgusting. And with time, I'm slowly fading away in the sense that not only physically, which is happening too, but also mentally, my self-awareness of who I am, it's just disappearing, and they were changing it with this new version of disturbingness, this nasty pedophilia things they make me experience now. And they're like, no, it's you now. I was like, no, it'll never be me. But it is you guys. It's you guys now. It's you guys. Some of them have done it before. This is you guys. That's what you have to carry on for the rest of your life. Target individuals, these people are nasty. The reason why I continuously make videos is I know my voice is going to be gone. I know I'm going to go. I'm going to disappear. But if I continuously say what I need to say, when the time comes, when I'm screaming, when I'm in pain, I can say I've left what I need to. I said what I need. I did my part as a target individual. Because as target individual, it is your duty to provide some kind of testimonials. My testimonials will be out there, or were out there at some point. And not only I never subscribed and identified with the things that made me experience, I knew what these people were doing. I know what they do to people. And on top of that, like I said, the cherry on top of it, understanding that these people that are surrounding me, that I see, that I interact, are just obviously not the people that are the people in charge of these things. They might participate, they might do their part, but truly those entities, those intelligence communities are really those entities in charge. I get this. This scripts me listening to the same people saying the same thing repetitively, seeing my neighbors making noise campaign, all that. This is what they're assigned to do. I understand. That's their assignment. They contracted to do this. There's some kind of incentives. I don't know if it's financial. I don't know what the benefit, but there's incentives of some sort. Because obviously, this is entities with a lot of wealth and fun. So I'm sure there's something offered of some sort. Now, I don't know what it is, but I'm sure that it's just very strong incentives. And it's not protecting the neighborhood, that's for sure. They're not protecting. It's far from that. It's not protecting their children. Matter of fact, they're willing to show their kids so they can force me to have these perceptions. It's nasty. It's the opposite of that, actually. their job is to do some foul things, and make me think of all the time I saw babies, a little, and they force me to experience nasty things. It happen all the time. That's the things they do to me. Nastiness, and even me saying that right now, they start stimulating me because they try to train me and condition me like this to think of children and be forcing me to this trash, forcing me to get stimulation, sexual arousals.
I am currently a speech-language pathologist working in private practice with young children. I had a 7-year-old client who has autism, and she was the most significantly affected of all of my clients. I eventually had to tell this client to go to another clinic, and they used her to threaten the most torture in me as well as their most extreme forms of torture. For several months, she would cry and scream horribly during our therapy sessions despite having a great day at school. This was highly unusual behavior for her, as she usually behaved very well during her therapy sessions and had been making incredible progress on all of her therapy goals. This was used to threaten extreme torture on me, making me scream and cry, etc. They would make the kids act out the kinds of torture that would later be done on me. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day, she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying, "Ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day, I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day, for about 2 months straight, and that's also when they made it worse when I eat. Then I also work with a 4-year-old little girl with Down syndrome, as well as her 5-year-old sister who also has Down syndrome. I observed both of these girls suddenly grabbing their genitals in pain and verbalizing, "Ow." I observed this at least on 1 or 2 occasions for each of them during their separate sessions. During one session, I observed one of my 3-year-old clients suddenly grab his crotch and lean forward in his chair. And then he made a frightening grimace of severe pain. I asked him what was wrong and if he needed to use the restroom, but he said no to having to use the restroom and was not able to verbalize anything more due to his language delay. He looked puzzled and bewildered. Even though I had stated that it was time to do more work right before this incident, I quickly just let him play another game, and he quickly returned to his joyful, happy self again. In other sessions, he has also grabbed his crotch and said, "Ow," while the nature of the torture I have been experiencing has been highly sexual in nature and highly perverted, involving many combinations of sensory and motor manipulation of my mind and body and of the people around me. This includes many different types of zaps to varying degrees to the genitals, butt, anus, and the entire pelvic area. This also includes many kinds of movements, such as the rocking, swaying, jolting, vibrating, and shaking of my entire body or various body parts, specifically in a sexual way. The severe vibration is a highly noxious stimuli and is very intolerable. They sometimes do pulses or throbbing sensations on the genitals too, etc. There are also body movements such as rocking my pelvic area back and forth, repeated rubbing sensations, the sensation of something going up my crotch and in and out, etc. They also often force vaginal discharges and zap my genitals at the same time. These sexual assaults are present throughout the day, every day, and anytime I am awakened at night, every night. They range from mild to extreme, but usually involve daily and nightly continuous assaults for the past 3 years now. When severe, the zaps to the genitals feel as though someone is electrocuting my genitals repeatedly. I also often see highly disturbing pornographic images and videos, including highly disturbing pedophilia type of images and videos when I close my eyes.
You feel that you've been injustice?
You mean as far as the Justice Department feeling me?
Well, in terms of your being a victim.
You mean what I'm feeling?
Yeah, explain a little bit to me how
Sure.
you perceive
Sure.
yourself
Well,
as being.
I have actual photographs of burns on my body. When I went to my doctor, the response was, "How do I know you didn't do that to yourself? How do you even address that?" I've passed 2 psychological evaluations, not 1, but 2. The one physician said, "You're mentally sound as a bell." He said, "I don't have any idea what's going on with you." When I go to sleep, when I go to try to sleep, I feel like I'm being lit up like a Christmas tree. I feel every cell in my body just bouncing out of my body. I can't even describe it. I get electric shock of my rectum. I get electric shock up my nose. I've woken up with burns on the end of my tongue. I've had burns on the palms of both of my hands. I vibrate. I can barely hold a piece of paper without quivering. Does that answer your question?
I'm trying to find what's the source of
The source are these exotic weapons. They talk about in 2976, but if you would pass it, it might give other communities the courage to do the same thing and show our Defense Department we are not the enemy. We are not to be attacked. We are not terrorists. Most of us are defenseless women.
Occasion, I was told I was going to be shot in the face, and it was an older guy. He was like really, really disgruntled and pissed off. Yeah, she's going to get shot in the face. Sound like an angry ass old person. Then a couple of days later, a female said the same thing. Don't get shot in the face. Stupid shit like that. But what I really noticed is with the Voice of Skull, it's a bunch of females. And I'm like, bro, really? You're not a woman. What real woman would stalk another female or sit back and allow that to go on? You really.
And I am a victim of organized stalking, electronic harassment, microwave torture, V2K abuse, and I'm asking you to help us end this crime against humanity, which has impacted men, women, children all around the world.
Hi, I'm Wan from Malaysia. My family are targeted individuals. We are victims of cyber torture. And I will not give up. I will fight to the end.
And am a victim of organized
We need
stalking,
this to stop.
electronic
That's it.
harassment. And I'm speaking to you on International Targeted Individual Day. I live in the US, in Illinois, and am a victim of organized
We
stalking,
need this to stop.
electronic
That's it.
harassment, microwave torture,
I've been targeted for 9 years.
24/7.
Please become more aware of this crime and those that the crime is being committed against. We need your support and help in ending this crime.
Hello, my name is Wendy Brown. I'm a targeted individual who is living in New Zealand, but my targeting began in California. I'm an American citizen, and the targeting continues in New Zealand. I'm making this video in remembrance of Targeted Individual Day, our 3rd annual Targeted Individual Day. And I'm asking that every honest-hearted human being open their eyes to a crime.
My name is Jeanette. I am 56 years old and I live in Baltimore, Maryland. I am a victim of covert electronic harassment and torture.
I am a targeted individual.
Wishes to hand down.
Hello.
Why? Because it hurts. I need help. I need you guys to come get me. It's brutally painful. I have a house, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms.
They're trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. It's disgusting, disgusting. Take this whole thing into account so much. I make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. It's disgusting, disgusting, disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or what.
The targets were forced to perform homosexual acts on each other against their will and religion in order not to be beaten or killed. This is a common breakdown tactic of belief systems and the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds. And vice versa is true.
What I say, playing with my dog, so that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use. A people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals. When I aggravated them, I usually called demeaning names, and one of them is referring to homosexuals. For me, all of the slaves are misfits, society haters, scumbags, etc. No, I don't have anything personal against them, homosexuals, but as my way to aggravate the slaves, and since they love to use children for the torture and stalking, street theater etc. Especially teenagers for the stalking at close range with an attitude, they are using them during my sleep in the perversion program, and so you can imagine what the slaves of torture are pretending to do to me.
Oh, that's the thing. The rest of the cases, they were sent back to the CIA to handle them internally. Where are you?
Well, don't worry, Stephen. I think a few of them were fired.
Yeah, well, the rest that's the thing. The rest of the cases, they were sent back to the CIA to handle them internally, whatever the hell that.
Where do you think you work?
CIA. That must mean there is such a lack of fearing any sort of accountability. For crying out loud. While on assignment, 1,400? You must have not been doing any job.
Well, even if you had to look at it to make sure you knew what it was, don't you just need to look at one?
Right.
You're like, I better check the other 1,399 just to be safe.
Yes, I better check the other 1,300 labeled tax things.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my goodness.
And the guy with the 6-year-old? Twice.
Yeah, twice.
Twice with the 6-year-old.
So and here's the scariest part. Out of the 10 instances that are described in the report, only one person was ever charged with anything.
Yeah.
With anything. Comment below. Do you guys know this story? This should be catnip for the media, right? Think about it. You've got this lewd behavior. You've got corruption at the highest levels of government, right? Aaron Brockovich, something about fake tits and tap water.
Yeah.
The CIA, raping children and sexually assaulting children, and they're not being prosecuted? Where are you?
8 billion brains on the planet. Ritual abuse. And I've heard all these stories. One guy believed it was some 14-year-old kid with an Xbox that lived next door. The trickery really is that great when you're under hypnosis that people will believe something other than a massive government could do this. And so anyway, my interview with Len, he very well described a typical breakdown script that's used on almost all the TI victims. TI stands for targeted individuals. Some of them are pretty crazy. They have names like Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz, and those are the confusion tactics. And when they're breaking down the ego of the human through all the pains and tortures and the verbal breakdown, these are typical CIA torture scripts. I mean, Kubark manual. And they do good cop, bad cop,